Hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Lisa from College Access Partnership, and I'm going to be presenting on the process of applying for and obtaining your financial aid for college. This slide shows an adaptation as provided by the National Association for College Admission Counseling, and a link to that full presentation and their resources is in the description of this video. So with that, let us move forward and talk about the process of obtaining financial aid. So we want you to be aware of 3 different portals that you will consult in order to obtain aid for school. The first portal is called the FAFSA, or the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. The website is fafsa.ed.gov, and this is where our students log in to apply for financial aid from the federal government, obviously. This application opens on October 1st each year, and you are more likely to get more money if you apply early. There is one big pot of money, and that money is allocated between October 1st and when the application closes in the spring. We tell our clients to apply in October and to finish their application no later than mid-November in order to maximize the gifts that they can receive. This is a yearly application requirement. So if you are applying, for example, for your freshman year of college, you need to also calendar that on October 1st of the following year, you want to reapply to get federal money for your sophomore year of college. Second portal to be aware of is the CSS profile, and this is an application process found on the College Board. So a student can use her College Board login to simply complete the financial aid portion of that application. Many schools require a CSS profile to be filled out in order to get money that is beyond that which is provided by the federal government. And then lastly, be aware of institutional aid applications. This depends on your college list. So for example, if you have a list of 10 to 12 schools, you want to visit the website of each of those schools to see if they have some additional application process for you. Many of these schools have scholarships that are unique to the university or college, and you may have to fill out a special application in order to be eligible to receive that money. More words on the FAFSA. The federal government is awarding roughly $150 billion to students in terms of grants and loans and work-study funds. In our previous video on understanding the types of aids available, you will learn how to decipher between grants, which is free money, loans, which is money that you have to pay back with some interest, and work study. That is money that you get in exchange for working on campus. The last point I'll make with regard to this slide is yes, you have to be organized and you must keep track of all of your deadlines. This is true for financial aid application process and the college admissions process in general. Missing a deadline means that you are disqualified. And again, just reiterating the importance of October 1st as that first day that you can begin your FAFSA application. Now this is a screen capture of what the FAFSA website looks like, and you want to go to this website here, which is listed at the bottom of the slide, and start your new application. But there is a caveat here, and that is another website, another task for you, which is to be aware of what's called an FSA ID. An FSA ID is simply your digital signature and identification number. So notice this slide here. We have a login page for the FAFSA. Here's where you're logging in. You are the student. And how are you logging in? You are entering your FSA ID and your FSA ID password. You set this up on a separate website, which is called FSA ID. You just Google it and you set up you're just entering your name, your birth date, your social security number. You create your account with your username and password, and that is what you're using to enter, to sign in and to signature off on your FAFSA application. Here's a screen capture of somebody who's finished the application. See, they have the green check marks for all these aspects of the FAFSA. They're ready to sign and submit their application for FAFSA. And what do they need to use? Their FSA ID that they set up on that separate FSA ID website. This is not very clear, but you can get a gist that this is simply a FAFSA summary. So this is a summary report that you are able to obtain that is simply a list of all the information you entered when you were filling out the FAFSA. And this is the kind of report that every school that you've listed will receive. I want to make a point here that isn't necessarily obvious or logical, and that is when you apply for federal aid on the FAFSA website, you will not receive a decision from the federal government. Rather, this information goes to all of the schools that you have designated on your FAFSA application, and you get your financial aid award letter from the individual schools. So you will get a financial award for every school to which you apply, and your awards will vary to a degree. That second portal that I talked about, the CSS financial aid profile, again, here's what the screen looks like. It's found at the College Board, and this enables you to get non-federal financial aid from almost 400 colleges and universities and other schools. Some more tips regarding that CSS financial aid profile. It, like the FAFSA, is available on October 1st, and it may be required, and it is separate from and in addition to the FAFSA application. Circling back to say a word about scholarships, there are so many that exist, and it's just a matter of being diligent and putting in the work to search out scholarships. Again, the scholarships refer to free money that is often merit-based. We like Scholly, we like CapEx, we like FastWeb, and we like Unigo. I'm going to have to put these websites in the description of the video. These are places where you can search scholarship opportunities and start applying. And at the end of this process, you're going to submit your FAFSA, you're going to finish the CSS profile, you're going to make sure that you filled out any additional applications that are unique to the schools to which you've applied. And then you're going to fill out and finish your college applications on the Common App, on the UC, on the state school websites, and anywhere else. And then you're going to rest until you get your decision letters. Here's just a preview to what a sample award letter is. I'm going to make a video next in this playlist that will help you decode the award letters because it can be confusing, but here's what it looks like. And you can see that here the letter outlines the cost of attendance for this fictitious school, tuition and fees, housing and meals, books, transportation, and other costs. So this is the true cost of attendance, $24,000 and some change. Here are the grants and scholarships that the student is awarded, $11,962. That's free money that need not be paid back. Oops. So what you will pay, this $12,000 plus is what's left over. There is a work study option down here that we talked about in a previous video where you can accept the offer of work study and you can use that money to pay for college expenses. And down here are your loan offers. That's a whole other subject. These are loans, so they must be repaid. You definitely want to take a subsidized loan before an unsubsidized loan because the subsidized loan does not require that you pay interest before you start the school year. The government is actually paying it for you, and it's a much better loan than an unsubsidized loan. And with that, I will just summarize what we have talked about in this video and the two that preceded it, and that is the order in which to accept financial assistance. Free money, grants and scholarships. Self-help money is next. That is money you earn by working. Loans are your last resort because you don't want to incur debt. So here is the order of loans that you should accept. Subsidized, no interest accrued while you're in school. That's the best loan. Unsubsidized loans are next. And then lastly, the private loan. Maybe you can avoid the private loan altogether. Maybe you can get an extra job or find some other line of credit with a low interest rate, but we generally like to avoid the private loans. And that is it in a nutshell. That is the process of financial aid with some additional recap information for you. You can learn more by visiting our website at collegeaccesspartnership.com. Thank you for joining.